It is comprehensive, it is authoritative, it is positive and exciting at the same time. It is News on Friday, the most trusted weekly news bulletin across the nation, and we have all the top stories this week, including the very latest on the row between the Teacher Service Commission and Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed. My name is Caleb Koya and we are live from the Caleb TV studios. The broadcast begins right now. The competence-based curriculum 2633 will have to wait until 2020. Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed, speaking to the press, said that her docket is not just ready for the big shift. The competence-based curriculum was set to replace the exam-based 32-year-old 844 system that has been there for the last 3 decades. So far so good, the proposed new education system has attracted a lot of challenges, including protests from parents, different opinions from different stakeholders, and also lack of training of the personnel, amongst other challenges. Listening to Amina Mohammed earlier this Saturday.
The first finding is that a majority of stakeholders are still optimistic about the capacity of the CBC to improve learning and teaching pedagogy in Kenyan schools. Second, the policy framework for the CBC was not adopted at the start of the pilot and currently remains in draft form. 3, there is inadequate alignment between CBC formulation, teacher capacity and development, selection and supply of learning materials, and assessment. This has led to inadequate coordination and ad hoc workshops in place of teacher training, compounded by the absence of relevant CBC materials. The fourth finding was that the curriculum was poorly planned and hastily introduced in schools. Number 5, the process did not carefully consider resource constraints and was not given the necessary strategic interventions at the inception stage. 6, the role of the teacher in the curriculum design is marginal, leading to lack of buy-in from teachers and lack of comprehension of the structure by teachers. 7, the procedures for developing a learning program are deemed complex, decreasing the quality of lesson plans and teacher interventions. 8, assessment tools are unavailable in all the schools that were assessed. Now, based on the observed gaps, and these are not all the gaps, during the national pilot in 2018, the National Steering Committee has resolved the following. The CBC national pilot be extended for 1 more year to allow alignment in the implementation, particularly intensive in-service teacher training. 2, the national rollout will take place in January 2020.
And yes, that is Amina Mohammed on the state of 844 system against the new proposed 2633 system of education. Joining university is a big step, but joining a world-class university is something else. There are a lot of perceptions about campus and everything that goes around being a university student. The transition between fourth forms and first year in campus is always marked with excitement, adrenaline, and big dreams. News on Friday was at EGERTON University to speak with the fresh blood. Just how has their semester been? Take a look.
It was so good you're doing your first exam. How is that experience?
It's wonderful because we chose courses according to your passion, and you find that just doing those exams, it gives you that feeling. Yeah, it's been good experience, though of course there are some challenging exams.
Some are just good, but others don't know the lecturers. They said things that we aren't familiar with.
Well, I just expect that my career to come out and being that person that I want to be in life and being able to learn the practical things that you're going to apply out there.
The semester has not been bad. Furthermore, I'm from EGERTON, so Me, I'm well okay with the environment. Together with the weather, it's not bad.
Like when you're in high school, you're told that when you come to campus, there's not a lot of reading like in high school, but when I came to this university, it's completely different.
Of course, interesting to know how the first years are actually faring at the Njoro-based institution. We move on. Election of Babu Owino into parliament was received by joy across the various universities and colleges. To many students, it was supposed to mark the beginning of their voice being heard on the floor of the house. But on the flip side, how has the decision made by the Embakasi constituency residents killed the vibrancy that student politics attracted earlier on? Do the students actually miss Babu Owino? News on Friday caught up with Onyango Evans, students vice president, EGERTON University, to put this story into perspective. Listen in.
There is a petition that was written by the student leaders and various youth students, which was taken to the parliament to ensure that it is discussed, so that the student leadership that was there before can be back. Up to now, we are still waiting for that petition to be discussed in the Kenya Parliament. And we have various youth leaders like the Jichopevu, Mohamed Ali, Babu Owino, the likes of Jaguar, who should be representing the youth student leaders in the Parliament.
Yeah, and of course that is Onyango Evans, Sweu Vice President, giving his opinion as to whether Babu Owino is actually delivering and the future of youthful leaders in Parliament. And we shift gears to our biggest story this week, where Attorney General Kiara Kariuki said no to the proposed entry grade to the teachers training colleges. But how did this all start? The Kenya National Qualification Authority made a recommendation that the entry grade to teachers training colleges should be reviewed from C to D+, something that the Teacher Service Commission CEO Nancy Macharia did not take lightly. In a statement sent to newsrooms, Macharia insisted that there is only one grade, and that is the C grade. Now, over the last 3 years, there has been a decline on the A to C grade, with the D+ getting the high number of records. As at now, TSC is still maintaining its C stand, and on the other end, the Ministry of Education is standing with the D. And of course, we shift gears to our special leadership feature this week. Our senior reporter Mary Gituku caught up with the Secretary General Students Union, Omondi, a young man who is so eloquent, so ambitious, and someone who has been a leader all his active life. Take a look to this report by Mary.
Leadership is God-given, and as we all know, the youth are the face of the future. We are at EGERTON University to get up close with one David Omondi, who has managed to be a leader ever since the year 2015. When did you realize you have leadership skills?
I have been a student leader from primary school. I served as the school captain in my primary school. I served as the class secretary in Form 1 when I joined. In Form 2 I was the storekeeper. In Form 3 I was the vice captain. And in Form 5 I was also the vice captain of Kowor Mixed High School in Homa Bay County, something that was contrary, that in Form 4 you are not allowed to serve in any position. But I don't know why they had to slot me in for that. During that period, I have ever felt like I have something to transform. It came out naturally that if I could do it during those days, why not in campus? And when I joined, I still served as a class representative in my first year. For my group in second year, I served as the Faculty Congress of Agriculture. In year 3, I served as the Secretary General. And year 4, I'm still serving as the Secretary General of the students. So I believe that there is some transformation that is in me that makes me feel that I'm a leader.
I agree. So is this from the family? Is there a family background of leadership?
No. We are 3, and I might say that, okay, my dad works at United East Africa Warehouse and he's a supervisor. Perhaps that is the leadership that I'm following, but I've not traced it from my elder brother, neither from my younger sister.
Oh. So what is your role currently as the Secretary General?
The Secretary General's position is all about students' welfare. you are concerned about the students' welfare as their spokesperson. As much as we have the positions that do cater for them, but you're the overall. That is why I'm always I have to represent students in the Students' Welfare Committee, a special subcommittee of the Senate. So I ensure that their rights are being articulated, and we have to be very direct here that their right on welfare matters, not on academic matters. So that is majorly my function.
Students' welfare.
Yes.
So what do you think is the future of our youth in leadership?
When you talk about future, I'll say that today is a future for yesterday. And yesterday's future was the preceding days. So our future for tomorrow is today. And I'll still repeat that youths need what we call as what we also term as the transformation.
Thank you very much for joining me. That was David Omondi giving us very inspirational answers. The future is today. Reporting for Koilib TV News on Friday, I'm Mary Gichuku.
We shift gears to our weekly segment of In 65 Seconds, and our question for the week was, if you had only 65 seconds left on your clock, what will you do? News on Friday was at the streets of Egerton University, and Irene Mwangi now files this report.
Okay, in 65 seconds, I will just take the 5 minutes or like 10 seconds to call my parents, my siblings, to tell them bye. The remaining seconds, I will just pray, ask for forgiveness, and I'll be ready to be taken.
Okay, I'll ask God to forgive me my sins, then I'll call my parents.
Ask God to take me to heaven. Thank you so much.
In 65 seconds, some students would call their parents, some would pray for their forgiveness, and some would also call their friends. I personally, I don't even know what I would do in 65 seconds, but I think I would just take some water maybe. Irene Mwangi from the streets of Egerton University, Koilib TV.
And of course, that is In 65 Seconds. Really good opinions from Egerton University students. And my director is telling me if he had only 65 seconds left on the clock, he'd actually put his house together and pray to the Lord. That is In 65 Seconds, each and every Friday on Koilib TV, on News on Friday. Of course, we take a short breather on News on Friday. When we come back, we have all the very latest sporting action on the program. Do stay with us.
Mkoaje? Mmekuwa mkifanya biashara, mafanikio zipo ama umekwama? Madam Business nimerudi tena msimu huu na bizi yako kuhakikisha kuwa vyuma vinalegea na biashara yako inaendelea kuwa safi kabisa. Msimu huu tutajionea jinsi in a world of inaction, over promising and under delivering, jinsi ya mtu anaweza jivika taji la kuwa mwanabiashara bora. Pia tutaongelea manufaa mengi zaidi ya kuwa mwanabiashara bora na jinsi ya kupambana na competitors wako wa kibiashara. Jiunge nami katika platform zetu za social media ya Twitter @KoilibTV, Facebook @KoilibTV, and usisahau kusubscribe kwa YouTube channel yetu @KoilibTV. Ni mimi wako wa kesho Athumani na hii ni Masaa ya Biashara.
In Kenya, more than 100 people are reported to have died and at least 250,000 have been displaced by flooding.
Millions of people in Kenya are facing disease and starvation as the year-long drought continues.
The death of the last remaining male northern white rhino on Earth has scientists scrambling to save the species from extinction.
In the face of climate change, water scarcity, unpredictable floods, urban sprawl, pollution, diminishing natural resources, energy challenges, and species extinctions, what are we likely to do?
The Faculty of Environment and Resource Development at Egerton University is a place to critically examine this and other environmental problems so as to craft solutions that are attainable and sustainable. We are committed to preparing our students, both undergraduates and postgraduates, for new and emerging environmental challenges that are characterized by complexity, uncertainty, interactivity, and rapid change across space and time. Egerton University, transforming lives, quality education.
And of course, thank you so much for keeping it News on Friday. This is the most comprehensive, most trusted, most positive, and most exciting news broadcast across the nation. We head over to some sporting action and we look at rugby today. Not a normal rugby though. Rugby is not only a men's sports right now. Egerton University's team, the Hornets, are the fresh blood into the women rugby competition. The team that trains at the Njoro-based institution has put the university on the map following their interest into the competition as the 4th university to have a female rugby team. Of course, the first university to have a female rugby team was USIU. That was followed by the University of Nairobi Kabete campus. Then Kenyatta University followed, and now Egerton University is on the map one more time. Of course, I give you a special exclusive of the Honest training at the Njoro-based The Nest.
Down, good. Sit down, yeah. Stretch, hands forward.
Ball.
Ball. 3, 2, 1, Hornets!
And of course, that is a very interesting story. The Hornets, the Egerton female rugby team, training right there. They're ready to take over the world and put Egerton University on the map, just exactly where it needs to be. Real definition of what a man can do, a woman can do. And from The Nest, we now end the bulletin. This has been News on Friday, of course, the most comprehensive, the most authoritative, and the most interesting news bulletin in the nation right now. Of course, each and every Friday, we have all the notable events, sports, and weather on the program. Thank you so much for joining me this week. My name is Caleb Koyo, and I see you next week. Feliz Navidad. And remember, whatever you do this festive season, just be amazing.